Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is for you. I was fortunate enough to receive a media code from terminals.io for a new title called Megaquarium, developed and published by Twice Circled. This game releases on Thursday, September 13th, and will be available through Steam, Good Old Games, and Humble. You will find links to these in the description. Since the media embargo lifts a day early, I thought I would publish a review. I'll also be streaming Megaquarium live on Wednesday, so check out my Twitch channel, linked in the description as well. This is going to be an unedited rolling review of the first tutorial level, followed by a sandbox game with some of the research already completed. I don't want to give away too much of the game, so this will only touch on some of the features you will find in Megaquarium. Let's get on with it. So as you can see, I've completed 5 of the 10 campaign levels. They're kind of a tutorial as you go kind of thing that advances your research and such while you are playing through it. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start a normal beginning tutorial, and then we'll jump into some sandbox stuff. So you've been tasked with building a small aquarium. Before the investors can release funding, they want to make sure you can handle basic controls, because basic controls are important. So you gotta hover over these things. That'll check off one of the objectives in the box. And let's see, we gotta pan the camera, we gotta orbit the camera, we gotta zoom the camera, and there we go. We got all the controls except for the home button. Dun, dun. So now we have money. Great stuff. You've unlocked your first round of funding. Use the money to get basic requirements. These are covered in the new set of objectives. You'll need to review if you need to review this, you can use the mail at the messages at the bottom. All right. So we gotta build 2 basic tanks, add some basic filters. I'm going to start by pointing out the layout of the UI and how clean and easy to reference it is. A lot of games don't seem to put a whole lot of effort into making their UI clean, and this is a welcome exception. I like a little symmetry, so we'll go with a little symmetry. The only thing we have available to us is a basic tank so far, so we'll go ahead and throw these in here with enough room for people to walk around them. 2 basic tanks, and then you've got your list of filters and heaters. Later on in the game, they're not going to like seeing this stuff out, so you'll have to hide it, but for this beginning tutorial, they don't seem to mind too much that you have your machines out in the open. Add some azure demoiselles to each tank. I can't pronounce these things. All right. Put in 2 in each one of them for right now. And then we need to add some decoration to the tanks. We'll go ahead and throw some rocks and plants in here. And you can rotate these things. I just chose to slap them down pretty quickly. Then you go and find your food dispensers. Those are important. Fish do like to be fed. And for ease of use, I like to throw these as near to the tanks as humanly possible. That way it takes your staff less time to feed them. They don't have to walk all the way across your aquarium in order to get to foodstuffs. Hire an aquarist and then open your aquarium. All right, so feeding and fixing and feeding. I'm gonna hire both of them, why not? And then we get to open it. And people come in and start paying you. All right, your basic aquarium is up and running. First guests have arrived. They pay money to enter, and every time they look at your tank, you get ecology, which you can use to unlock new animals. So we'll hurry this along just a little bit. And now that I have some ecology and am able to do so, I'm going to research new fish. Apparently this comes up immediately in the tutorial. Usually it takes a little bit of time to generate the ecology points that you need in order to unlock new animals. This one, let's see, Orchid Dotty back. The more ecology you earn, the more you can unlock. Oh, it didn't unlock it. I'm an idiot. There you go. But it will happen pretty quickly, like I said. Alright, buy some for your aquarium. We've got to add a total of 6 of these little guys. All had to be in one tank. Now you'll notice my water quality has gone down. What I can do to fix that is add another filter. And as you research, you can move, you'll be able to get bigger ones of these. Let's move this tank and see if that counts. All right. Did you know you can move animals and decorations? I do. And that's a pretty easy thing to do. Once you pull open a tank like this, you can left click to get information. You can right click to get to move the fish. You can also, once this panel is open, you can use your demolish to get rid of stuff that is attached or in that tank. I won't sell anything just yet. This is a handy little button, closes all of your windows, so you're left with just the current goal you're working on. You can also minimize that if you want to. Handy little quality of life things that are in here. All right, you may have noticed a set of icons. Oh yay, my dryer just went off. How about that? Let's see, these are known as the animal's care requirements. Fail to meet these will reduce the health of your animals, could lead to death. Death sucks. Death makes people angry, so don't let them die. So all of these different things, it will tell you how many points you earn when your visitors view them, the size of the animal in comparison to its tank, to the tank size, what temperature it needs to be, your water quality, minimum water quality, what it eats, and then there are special requirements for certain things. This fish in particular is a shoaler. It needs to be in a group of at least 4 of the same type of fish in order to be happy. So what I'm going to do here is check out, I'm going to turn on the tank capacity so I can check that out. I'm going to move some of these fish. To give myself enough room. And I'm going to add another one of these for water quality. That's good. And then I've got 10 spaces to open up, or 10 spaces to utilize in this tank, which I won't be able to put all of them in here that I need to, because I don't have enough room. So what I'll do is open this up, and you'll notice their health bar is low. Thankfully you can build while you're paused, so it won't continue to hurt the animal or your aquarium by doing this. So I'm going to go ahead and sell off 2 of these fish so that I have enough room for the 4 shoalers. There we go. So now you have to earn prestige in order to rank up here. Each rank unlocks more stuff for you to use immediately and unlocks stuff to research. So the more prestige you build up, the higher level you obtain, and the more stuff you can do. And there it is. There's my dryer again. Alright, so now that I'm at prestige rank 2, this unlocks the ability to use a staff door, Combi Mini, which is a heater and a filter in the same item, and Driftwood Cave, which allows you to use You can use it for decoration, and you can also use it to meet requirements of certain fish. Then I also can research the King Demoiselle. Rank 2, access to more animals. All right. Very cool. We'll research this. Now, while it's researching, I'm going to open this back up, and we'll check out its requirements. Anytime a guest sees this, it gives you 2 prestige points per fish instead of just 1 like the other ones. And for ecology, this is a small fish. It's only a size 2. And it is tropical. It requires 55%, eats orange pellets, and it is a wimp. Now, there are other fish that are listed as bullies, and as you can see, this cannot be housed with a bully. So if you have a fish that has the bully icon, you will not want to put those in the same tank together. We'll speed this up just a little bit here. Since I've got a lot of money, I think I will probably go ahead and expand this outward. We'll get another tool station and slap it over here. Grab this and move it over here. Maybe. And since we're almost done researching that, let's go ahead and make a couple more tanks. There we go. Now, King Demoiselle is timid. It's a wimp. Don't house it with bullies. Alright, let's slow things down a little bit. And we'll get... Actually, let's go ahead and throw, because I know that I'm going to fill these tanks up. We'll go ahead and throw too much filtering on them. And now the nice thing about this list, when you open up your fish menu, you'll see at the bottom, right underneath the fish, it'll tell you how many you have in your entire aquarium. So right now I have 0 of these guys, but I'm going to fill up a tank with them. And now I can unlock an Arabian blue line dotty back. Now here is one of those bullies. So we don't put those in with these new fish. And just to add a little variety to this tank, I'm going to put a couple of these guys in here too. These are not just decorations. Some animals will require that their tank have these things in them. So you'll want to be paying attention to those needs of your fishies. Make sure that they are happy. We'll speed this up a little bit. Alright, so now these guys also eat orange pellets, so they are cool to go with the current food. And this pugnacious little fellow, these bullies will terrify animals with whip tag. So, I want to make sure we do not, again, put those in the same tank. These have no special requirements. Okay, pick your next ecology project. We'll get the yellow tang. This is one of the ones that I was talking about that requires plants in order to be happy. So for every fish, you need a plant. So don't fill up one of these tanks with them, one of these larger tanks with them without keeping in mind that you need to have enough plants to cover for each fish. Oops. these guys, one of those guys in there. Didn't have enough room. All right, let's expand further. And I'm just making this very simple. I'm just opening up room. I'm not getting crafty with the layout or anything like that. Now the yellow tang is not a wimp, but it does have that plant lover requirement, and it's a size 6, so it's a pretty big fish. What I'm going to do in planning for those is grab a couple of these guys to be able to add some to that tank, as well as this one here has enough room. Okay, so we'll just go with that. I need to sell one more out of there. When you have something selected, right-clicking backs out of whatever menu you're in. It's quite handy. Another quality of life thing. All right, so yellow tang has a higher water quality requirement, 60% than the other animals. So you have to add more filters or less fish. This one takes a different type of food. It requires a green pellet, so we'll have another one of these boxes to open up. And they like plants, which we have in every tank, so I won't have to worry about that. Let's add one to this tank, and we'll research. I'm going to add one to that tank. Oh, no, he doesn't still have it selected. Black bar, soldier fish. This requires a cave, and it does not like lights. We won't get into that in this particular part of it, but it's something to remember for the future. We have another yellow tang to go in here, and I will make a new tank in the middle here. Not quite that middle. Okay. All right, we've got everybody in there. This fish will be opened up shortly. There we go. All right, he is nocturnal. Likes to have a cave to hang out in. When research rank 2, you unlock the driftwood cave, which I've got in there, and it dislikes lights. You don't have to worry about that now. But let's go ahead and throw a couple of these guys in here. Now you'll notice when I add the second one, build some benches. Okay. When I add the second one of these, it will still fit with the one decoration that's in here, because this adds 3 units of cave, and there are only 2 of these fish in here. But if I go ahead and add 2 more, notification will pop up that I do not have enough cave space. So we'll go into here and add another driftwood and fix that. Different items take up more space, add more stuff to the rating of the tank in prestige, and the ability to keep fish happy. You unlock those later on. Now this, I'm going to pause this here because this tank is not completed, or this task cannot be completed because there's no green pellet. We've got to add some food to feed these guys. And now my employees will do it. Okay, one of your equipment is broken down. Uh-oh. So it loses effectiveness over time, which, you know, you figure would happen. But they will run over and take care of it. Uh-oh, causing some to go hungry. Normally this is because your staff didn't have enough time to get around. Check the distances between your food. Ah, interesting. Okay, moving closer, add additional dispensers. Poor fishies. Final challenge, get a target amount of prestige, which I should be doing very shortly. And I'm gonna, wrong button. I'm gonna speed through this a little bit. I'm gonna have to wait for a full 3 minutes for this to complete. And you'll notice that your prestige will drop down because people aren't looking at the tanks, there's not enough people in there, your tanks aren't interesting enough. But most of the time, once it climbs up, it'll fluctuate up and down a little bit, but not a whole heck of a lot. You do have to constantly make additions in order to keep your prestige rating up there. And hopefully I've gotten this taken care of. As you can see, this game has a pretty short learning curve, but it's going to take a little bit of time for you to master it. Paying attention to all of the different things, the requirements for fish, making sure that once you get larger fish, they don't eat one another, which is a thing. Okay, so received a job offer to run a larger aquarium, and then you can just jump into that if you want to, or you can continue building in the one that you're in if you want as well, which is kind of a nice thing. I'm going to pop into a new game now. We're going to go ahead and check out the sandbox. This is something that was just added this morning. It was talked about that it was going to be offered at release, but apparently it was ready a little earlier, which is awesome because I can't wait. I couldn't wait to have a nice sandbox mode. I mean, games like this, let's face it, we all like a sandbox mode. So I'm going to leave my starting rank, I'm going to leave it at 3. I'm going to have everything available, and I'm going to not have the fish availability randomized. If you turn that on, it's going to give you a selection of stuff each time you rank, and not the whole list of things, which, you know, it can be nice. You can change the side objectives, trades, and merchants, which you get in your mailbox. You'll get offers for different things as you go on, and that keeps the sandbox mode from becoming just a straight sandbox mode. You'll get, you know, offers for different things at different times. And when you start a sandbox mode, as you can tell, you start out with a completely blank slate. I'm going to go ahead and open up a lot of this since I have $6 grand to play with. I also have more than just your regular tanks available, or than your basic tank available. I'm going to drop a wall in here. And I'm not going to do this too much because I'm already rolling on longer than I wanted to with this, but just to give a picture of what you can do, I'm going to make an observer tank. This allows people to see it from all sides. While you're placing a tank, if you bugger up the placement of it while you are putting the tank down, you can right click and it'll cancel where you're placing it, but it will still leave the tank in hand, so you don't have to go and select it again. We'll throw that down there. We can move walls and create a staff door. Now, the reason that I do this is because, like I was saying earlier, they don't like being able to see the equipment if you can avoid it. And there are ways to put these tanks out in the middle of your floor with a pump so that you can hide that stuff, and I'll do that in a minute. Let's go ahead and check out what we've got available to us. I'm going to put a bunch of these in there, shoulder, And how about we add 2 of these to this tank? You'll notice that I've got red markings on water quality and heat because I don't have any of the equipment hooked up to it yet. Let's go ahead and put a soldier fish in there. And I don't think I have anything that generates science. We don't have anything that generates science yet. But we'll put a yellow tang in here too. Okay, so now that I've put all those fish in there, it's telling me I need a plant. My water quality is bad. My temperature is bad. I need a cave. And because of that, there are some animals in this tank that are not happy with me. I'm going to go ahead and throw some eelgrass in here. That will more than compensate. And it adds decoration to the tank, which helps out its prestige. And I don't need them, but we'll put rocks in there. I need a cave. Put a cave in there. Now I still have temperature and water quality to deal with. We're going to go ahead and put a large filter on this thing, or 2. And then temperature, need 2 of those. You always need an open spot for them to feed the fish, so make sure you don't cover this up. I'm going to get into a better way of doing this than linking it to the tank in a moment. That's why I left this big gap right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open this just so that I can have people flowing in and start to be able to research things. How about an eel? Eels are fun. Now I'm going to get a basic tank. Make sure I do not have the, okay, so I don't have the pump at level 3, which won't allow me to do the cool thing that I was going to do. Dope. Basically, what the pump allows you to do is set up an equipment station back here that will feed a tank to a certain distance away. And because I am a lamer, I didn't realize that this level didn't have the pump in there. In fact, let me go ahead and do that, because that is kind of important. I'm just going to go ahead and rank it up to 5, just so that I'm sure that I have all that stuff available to me. And because I didn't put food in there for him. So now you can see that there are much larger pieces of equipment that you can use. This pump allows you to connect to a tank 7 tiles away. It can only connect to 1 tank. You get bigger pumps that allow you to connect to multiple tanks. It makes it more efficient for your people to work on. Deep tanks have been unlocked. A lot more fish have been unlocked, as well as some coral. Broom stands are for cleaning up trash that they throw around. And there are more types of food, plus vending machines that you can earn money. Bathrooms, because you know they're people and people need bathrooms. I'm going to go ahead and just set up one of these types of tanks, and then I'm going to wrap this thing up. For the heck of it, we'll just go ahead and make this a huge thing. And we'll put a lagoon tank right in the middle, and we'll add a staff room over here. Grab one of these pumps, and it connects to that. Now you can take your equipment and connect it up to this pump. The larger the tank, the more it requires you to add to it in order to keep the water quality and temperature up. So now let's see what we've got here. This is a fun thing. This thing grows up, and when it gets bigger after 4 days, it will increase the size of fish that it can eat. So right now, this fish here, the black bar soldier fish, would be safe from being eaten by the panther grouper. Once this thing grows up, it probably won't be safe. So keep an eye on your statistics. Keep an eye on when fish grow up. You'll get messages for that when a fish grows up to full size. It will let you know. See, and this tank can take very, very large fish into it, or a lot of very, very small fish. I want to find something. This does not like to compete for food with other species, and this only has orange pellet fed fish in it right now. This is a rather large one, so we'll go ahead and add a bunch of those to it. Now, keep in mind, this fish does not like to have to compete for food, so you do not want to throw a different species. It will get along with its own species in this regard. It will not get along with other species of fish, so avoid avoid that where you can. We'll go ahead and throw an orange pellet and a green pellet box in here. Make sure we hire. I'm just going to hire everybody because I'm not doing this for serious. It's just to lay out what needs to be done here. And it doesn't require any plants or caves or anything like that, but I'm still going to throw some decoration in the tank. There we go. And we'll just open it. Schooling bannerfish. And see, this is all kind of overwhelming at first, but you start, with a little bit of practice, you get used to it. One of the nice things about the rank system is that you can go back. This was recently re-added, apparently. I watched a devlog this morning that apparently this was taken out for a while, but it is now back, where you can unlock lower level things after if you rank up before you unlock everything, you can go back and unlock things that you have not yet unlocked. So the last thing I'm going to show off here and then wrap it up is that you can kind of go into a first-person mode. If you zoom in, you can use the W, A, S, and D keys in order to walk around your aquarium and take a look at what you've built. Get a bunch of fishies in there, and since there's no clipping, you can walk right into it. But that's kind of fun. The more you earn prestige, the more stuff you unlock. The more stuff you unlock, the more different types of tanks you can set up. There are lots of things that I did not show off in this video, so it is it's pretty special. I am having a really good time playing through this game. I haven't gotten through all of the tutorial levels yet, so I haven't seen everything there is to unlock, and so far there is a huge list of it. There's also an awful lot of room for future editions, different styles and things like that. You can, right now you can paint your aquarium to different layouts and stuff. They have a couple of them, and you unlock those with your rank as well. I think that's terrible. There we go. And I do not believe that this affects their reaction to it, because I've kind of painted things all messed up before, and it didn't seem to bother people. And the nice thing is it's free, so you can restyle your aquarium as you see fit and not have to take it out of your bank. Anyway, I hope this helped you kind of decide that you wanted to buy this and sink your time into it. It is a beautiful, relaxing little game. Twice Circled has done a pretty good job putting it together. It's simple but not simplistic. It's relaxing but not something that you can fall asleep playing and be successful at. So hopefully you'll check out the links below. I've linked what I've found for Steam and Humble. I don't see it listed on Good Old Games yet, but that will change. My Twitch link is also in the description. I will be streaming this live on Wednesday. The media embargo lifts, so I'm going to go ahead and play it and get some feedback from people. So hopefully this was helpful in some form or another, and I thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will see you guys another time. Thank y'all. Busy, busy, busy.